Hi, everyone, and welcome to the CHP podcast. I am your host, Ariana, and I'm here with the big guy, Alex Viada. I got him on to record a podcast today. Hopefully, we'll be seeing a lot more of him in the future. No pressure. But we are jumping on today to talk about a training plan that Alex wrote last year or the beginning of this year. I don't even remember when that was.
Yeah, I don't recall. 8 months ago?
Uh,
Yeah, something like that.
yeah. But anyway, we're just going to be talking about this program in a little bit more detail because Alex and I both love the program, and we've been putting together a group training program that utilizes all of the programming that he wrote so that we can offer a little bit more guidance, more workouts, and just kind of more stuff that adds to the already pretty fantastic guts of the template. So the template is EPP, Extreme
Performance protocol.
Performance Protocol. My brain blanked on the second word. Extreme Performance Protocol. So can you talk me through, I mean, this is also known as the Space Marine template, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you and I are both Warhammer lovers. And this program started as a idea of like how would Space Marines train, but then it seems like you did the you thing, which is fantastic, and you were like, but wait, let me write 120 pages instead. So talk me through how you sort of developed. There's two main tracks. There's sub templates. Kind of what was your thought process? And honestly, like let's just bring it right back to the Space Marines. Let's talk about kind of how that triggered your writing of this template, like how that cascaded. Because I feel like we talk a lot about how it's tactical, but we don't loop it back enough.
Yeah, I think one of the things that always appealed to me about that, the whole concept of these Space Marine metahumans and all that, is just it's not just that they're big and strong. It's that they're capable in every single way. And in the lore, which I love, which is sometimes a little understated, they're extremely smart. They have incredible endurance. They're versatile. Like these are intended to be, the whole idea of them as just being like these big, heavily armored shock troops is kind of not the reality. Like they're used for infiltration. They're meant to be self-sufficient. What I love about the concept was this whole idea that you can develop, and kind of what I love about the whole hybrid idea was, the whole idea that, hey, look, nobody that big should be that fast or that agile or anything else. And my whole thought was, well, okay, why are we just doing like lifting and running? Why don't we do something that is, let's develop an all around, like, how would I train somebody if they were just like, I just want to be the most physically capable in every way possible? And, this started actually, I think 2 years ago when somebody said, well, how would Batman train? And I created a template for that actually had a lot of components like breathing drills and mental acuity drills and things like that. But it was less physically focused. And I think when I put this one together, I wanted to have it to be something that was, if I could just throw a program at somebody because they said, I want to just be able to do everything. I want to be able to lift heavy things. I want to be able to run really far. I want to be able to go on a backpacking expedition and, go backcountry hunting and carry large game back on my back. All of that stuff put together, I said, okay, this would be it. And, having this idea of just anybody who can run through this program, it grows with them. It continues to advance their physical capacities, and it gives them the option to dabble with different things. You want to start cycling? Great, you can do that. You want to be really good at rowing? You can do that. You want to be really good at rucking because you're not as interested in trail running? You can do that. So it's meant to be a modular program. It's meant to give people capabilities in everything. And I think that's when that started growing into the whole tactical thing as well. We're going, well, wait a minute, what if people want to take this even one step further? And what if they're like, hey, I really want to be good. I really want to be really good at backcountry expeditions, or I really want to be really good at like being able to use firearms or bows or anything else. And that's when I finally said, oh, wait a minute. People also want us to build a selection template. Space Marines are soldiers. Why not actually take this one more step and actually have this be the best soldier template we could ever make? And that's how it grew that way. But it's all that same basic theme. Like, I want somebody following this to just be a weapon. Literally. I mean, that was the whole idea.
Well, definitely reviewing the template. That's kind of what it pushes you to do. So I've always loved the idea of the template because just like you, I think all too often when we think hybrid and when we talk about hybrid, like you said, it's very much like lifting and then an endurance sport kind of
Yeah,
mashed together. Um, but in their own way, it's limiting because then you've got people
absolutely.
doing just barbell lifts and then just running.
Yeah,
Or like you said, just sort of this sort of narrow focus on individual sports, which isn't wrong. It's not bad.
yeah,
But I think there's a lot of human performance potential that's kind of left on the table when you do that. You end up neglecting things like agility, power, speed. Um, Odd objects get neglected a lot. And
yeah,
I mean, they're showing up a lot in sort of the hybrid competition in person space. You see them at the tactical games. You see them even showing up at CrossFit. You see them showing up Rally in the Valley, Hypercon games. They've got logs, weird, odd objects that are happening all the time. So it also, I think, behooves anyone who wants to be kind of a competitive hybrid athlete to start playing around with odd loading, weird objects, rucks, weighted runs. Those are happening a lot too. So there's so much happening in the hybrid space where I think people are kind of pushing towards the fringes
yeah.
of human performance and really pushing people outside of their comfort zone. Um, that I would argue that yes, okay, this is a really good selection template. This is a really good tactical template. This is a really good template for someone who wants to do the tactical games. But this is also just a really good template for someone who
Yeah,
wants to be a ridiculous hybrid athlete. You've got cleans in there. You've got, Olympic lifting. You've got odd objects. You've got carries. You've got running. You've got swimming. Like all of these things I've been training my athletes in for rally. You've been training athletes in that for rally.
yeah.
Like they're
And
showing up everywhere.
I think what I like about it too is you don't have to do all of them.
No.
You don't. If you're just like, hey, I just all I have access to is a couple dumbbells and a trail to go run, you can still run the program.
Yeah.
So that was the whole idea, is that it's versatile too. So, because people say, well, what if I don't have any interest in doing any of this crazy stuff? And, it's going, hey, look, an object carry doesn't have to be like, a 600-pound yoke.
Or
Sometimes
a
it can
stone or
just be,
something,
yeah, it
like
can just be like carrying a bucket around your backyard, but you don't have to do it. So that's what I loved about it, was this whole idea that, hey, it's whatever you want to do. It grows with you. It can make you into the best all around athlete it could be. You can pick and choose parts of it, and to me, that is the essence of being hybrid. Like the whole reason I started down the whole path and thought of this whole idea and found it so cool was I wanted to do bike races. I wanted to do triathlons. I wanted to do fun stuff. And I was tired of hearing that I had to compromise everything else if I wanted to do them. I
yeah,
didn't want to do that. And I think that's what this whole program is kind of built around, is this idea that, look, being hybrid is being able to do whatever you want whenever you want.
mhm,
And that's exactly what this is about.
yeah, and it should be fun.
Absolutely.
Like, you should
That's
be
it.
having
'Cause,
fun,
yeah,
which
it's
I think
this
is
is,
kind of a great part about it being Space Marine and having the we'll talk about it in a second, like, the
yeah,
tribes and the different workouts and stuff, like,
yeah,
it should be fun too, like, you should be
yeah.
having fun.
'Cause, I mean, look, at the end of the day, like, any organized sport beyond basically training for longevity or training for your career, anything else we do is meant to be fun.
Yeah,
It's meant to challenge us. It's meant to be a fun pastime. It's meant to give us mental and physical enjoyment. Like, if you're not having fun with it, and if you can't, to a certain extent, appreciate the absurdity of
of it all.
humans trying to be fast and strong and everything else, like, look, physically speaking, we're one of the most pathetic species on the planet. Let's be honest, we're doing this for ourselves. Let's have a sense of humor about it and have some fun with it.
Yeah, I mean, we go into air-conditioned gyms and, like, lift perfect cylinders
Yeah,
on metal bars to, like, feel tough.
yeah. And a chimpanzee 2/3 our size can absolutely just dominate us physically, and you know everything in the water is faster than us. Everything on land, we're having fun.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
challenging ourselves. We want to be physically capable, but we're having fun. Like, let's have no illusions about it.
And plus, I mean, across I would say the competitive athletic space, the athletes I see lasting longest in their sport, breaking the most records, doing the most crazy stuff, they all seem like they're having a blast.
Yeah,
Like they're having the best time. They're obsessed with their sport for sure. but they enjoy it. And I
Yeah.
think it's for them, which I think kind of gets lost in the sauce sometimes. It's not, yeah, you can say they're paying the man and they're grinding and whatever if you want to go that route. But for the most part, I think they're all having blast.
They,
Um, they're
how
just
many
having more fun than you doing it like that.
how many champion ultra runners do you see out there going, God, I hate all of this? None. They're all like,
Yeah.
yes, outside. I can't wait.
I
You
can't
see,
wait to sign up for another one. You're like, why?
yeah. And it's like after the race, they go out the next day and they're like, yeah, since I'm out here anyway, I'm going to go hike and enjoy it. And I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
that's what this sport is about. And, I
Mhm.
think that's also one of the things that this kind of hybrid training lets you do is it lets you find that.
Yeah.
Going, hey, you know what? Like, you can still play. You can still get on a mountain bike. Hey, you want to incorporate mountain biking into this because you miss it? Go for it. You want to go like hike for a couple days or go on a fishing trip with your friends and be able to carry stuff around to and from camp. Like, hey, that's all part of it. That's why you're
Mhm.
here.
So durability and agility are huge pieces of this program, from what I've gathered. Um, and knowing that this is something that people can make their own and they can do their own sort of approach with it, they can do whatever work from it that they want. Would you encourage people to do the agility and sort of durability work anyway?
Obviously, I'm nobody. Well, there's only one person who I could say I'm the real dad. I can't tell people what to do. I can't be like, hey, look, we got to do this program. That is the stuff that is so undervalued and underemphasized. And I think when most of us decide we want to get into health and fitness, it's because we just generally want to feel better. We want to be less sore. We want to feel like we move better. We want to feel like we can even just do like slightly more ambitious daily activities and not hurt at the end of the day and be able to do a little bit more than we did yesterday. And a lot of this kind of work, it's harder to emphasize the agility work and plyometric work and all that kind of stuff because it doesn't seem like it has immediate returns. You go, great, I just had a great workout. What did I do? I jumped around a little bit. Cool. Did you PR your bounding? Like, no, it doesn't happen. But that's also the stuff that like that's why most of us are doing this in the first place. And I try to remind people that, hey, look, this stuff may not have the most immediate return, but this is the stuff you're going to appreciate. Don't let this be one of those things where 2 years from now you go, man, I wish I'd started this 2 years ago. Like, start it today, do it today. It'll pay off. You'll move better. You'll feel better. It's going to add to every component of your training. If you're doing this program for the first time, give it a try and give it a real try.
Yeah.
Give it a try for like 2 or 3 months. If you decide you hate it and it's not doing anything, no one's going to keep you doing it. But strongly advise anybody who's interested, start out by doing that.
Would you say that this is also the closest thing to a general physical preparedness template that we've ever?
That's kind of the idea. And I think GPP and general physical preparedness has so many different definitions depending on who you ask.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah,
I think in terms of a program that it leaves like no stone unturned in terms of athletic, like different metrics of athleticism and different parameters. I think it's probably the most comprehensive. Yeah. Because I don't think there's any area that it leaves unaddressed. You're talking about pretty much every time domain in endurance training, every type of lifting when it comes to resistance training, ranging from weighted carries to hypertrophy work to explosive work, rate of force development. All of that's in there. So I think when it comes to general physical capacity, general physical capability, that's kind of I would say the closest we have to that.
yeah. I mean, you've included so much anti-rotation, rotation work, like odd lifts that would sort of speak to that sort of anti-fragile movement that's coming out. Which thank God, but at the same time, it's progressive work, which is I think kind of important there. But
Yeah.
you've got all the different kinds of odd structured movements as well, not just in the carry medleys, but you have people doing lots of rotational, anti-rotational, different time domains, like you said. Um, Not only strength but power, um, volume. There's just so much variety within 2 weeks of that template, and then of course you can repeat it, you can make changes, and you make recommendations. So knowing that you've got these two tracks. You have prepare and perform. What is the major difference between the two of them? Because I know, prepare is sort of the more uh, this is the only program you're running type
Yeah,
program where there's no additional work. And then perform is for someone who's performing in their job,
yeah.
or something similar. So, can you kind of talk about or speak to the differences when you wrote them both?
Yeah, so the way the prepare was designed is the prepare section of this is meant to give people just exposure to everything. This is
Yeah.
the only program you need to run. It doesn't focus on any one thing, but it gives you a little bit of exposure to everything. So this is kind of the infinitely runnable, I'm training for life. Obviously, you progress the program, but for the most part, it lets you touch on a whole bunch of different things. The perform program at its core is actually a little bit lighter. There's less baked in work, but that's because the perform program assumes that you're also going to pick one of a few different tracks that allows you to focus on something else more, I wouldn't say, yeah, more specifically. So you're running the perform program and you pick one other block to do at the same time. Because you'll do perform and then run. Because like let's say you really just you want to be focusing on running, you want to be getting faster, you want to be getting, you want to improve your endurance, you'll do perform plus run. Great. If you want to be working on like rucking or anything or whatever other section you want to work on, perform is designed to be the base program plus a little bit extra. So, even and the thing is, like, depending on what your objectives are, if you're just in this for general health, you can still run the perform program because you can say, yeah, I really just I want to get better at running now. I've got a race coming up, so I'm going to do the lighter base program plus a run focus. Or you can, and the whole idea is you can move seamlessly between them. So it's just
Mhm.
a way of kind of adjusting the core volume to either let you specialize in one area and go through phases where you specialize in one area, or just really buckle down and focus on one thing.
Cool. Because yeah, I noticed, in going through workout by workout for each of those, prepare is super cool because it includes diff basically, like you said, a little bit of everything. It's got running. You could switch out the runs for bikes if you used wattage or power. Like it's or even RPE, honestly, but you could really switch out any of the endurance pieces. Your recommendations for how to replace the work or change the work, they're pretty comprehensive. Um, and then prepare leaves a bunch of days open for you to incorporate that kind of higher intensity, more specific work,
Yeah,
that you find in those sub templates. So EPP, the like 100-page version that you published, has what, five sub templates,
I think so. Yeah,
which is pretty brilliant. I mean, run, ruck, swim, land nav and navigation, and agility. And then you also have a shooting sub template, which you said you geared toward firearms, handgun, rifle, and then bow,
yeah.
which was cool. I really liked putting together those videos. I felt cool doing it. I didn't actually do any shooting. I just put together videos of someone else shooting. To be clear,
Hey,
but knowing that all of those are accessible in the big big program, I know that you and I were talking about sort of the GPP side of this template, and I say GPP only because it's the most sort of vague word I could use that kind of suggests what I mean. Um, but in making this template accessible to everyone and also feel accessible, um, we decided to include, if for this group training protocol that we'd be running with everyone all at once, we decided to include running, swimming, but then a brand new cycling track, which would be power based, that could also be done on a rower or like an airdyne. Is that correct?
yep,
Okay.
yep,
And I think I like that because you do have that military selection crowd, right? You have the crowd that have to run.
yeah,
They have to rock, they have to swim. Swimming is also really hard. But then you've got, another group of people who, like you said, they just want to be better at everything. They just want to be fitter. They just want to be stronger. They want to be able to do more stuff, maybe not so sport specific.
hmm
Um, And a lot of those people do want to get better at running for sure. They can still do rucking. They can still do any version of sort of VT1 activity. You even give recommendations based on like loading, like please don't wear a pack for this one, or like this could be a ruck. Um, but I think including something, zero impact like swimming, which I think is pretty fantastic for most people to learn how to do and then to do as exercise. And then cycling, which is also low to no impact. I think that kind of really opens the doors for people who kind of considered the template in the past, but maybe thought it was like too much for them or maybe a little bit too specific or something. Now it just definitely isn't. Now it is everything, which I think is really, really cool because it kind of
Yeah.
just blows it wide open to where anyone could follow it and anyone could do it for anything. Um,
And I think part of what we try to do with that as well is, if somebody wants to train for a triathlon, it'll work. If somebody wants to, and I think by giving people the option of saying, hey, look, cycling, like a lot of these power based workouts, you can use them for different modalities. Um, these are not just like half assed workouts either. For the most part, when putting these together, these are I want to say these are well designed run workout, but they really are. I mean, like all the material going in there is what I've used for years and years for high level runners, high level cyclists. Like these are all serious, legitimate. Like these are going to be programs that can be done whether you're just starting or by high level individuals. So it's kind of again when it comes down to that as well, we're also trying to give people the option to say like, hey, what if there's a sport I'm really good at already? What if I love cycling and I still want to keep doing that, but I also want to be able to incorporate strength and general durability? Great, you can come into this. We've even got cycling workouts for you. Same thing with runners and so on. So the whole idea is by narrowing the focus to these things, we're also opening it up to people who really have a passion for this area and want to keep doing it, but also want to learn how to incorporate the rest. So it's not just, hey, let's give you a lifting program that gives you exposure to these other things or a GPP program. It's going, hey, if you really love one of these things anyway and you're already doing it, let's show you how you can incorporate all of this.
yeah, and to that point, which thank you for clarifying that. The coolest thing I think that's going to happen about what you and I discussed was you continuing to write workouts for these sub templates and then
Yeah.
uploading them every week. So like,
Yeah.
yeah, there's a run sub template that's got, 5 pre-written workouts, which are progressive, and you would make fantastic progress doing those 5.
Yeah.
But what you're going to do is you're going to come in and you're going to give people a new run workout every week, a new cycling workout every
Exactly.
week. And it's going to be, structured in Training Peaks so it can import to their watch if they wanted to,
Hmm.
or they can just, write it on their hand or whatever they want to do. We've got some traditionalists. But I really love that part of it too, because you kind of get that, you're going to get that sort of hands on individual coaching from this group program that kind of takes the whole thing to the next level if you're someone who really wants to push your running or your cycling or your swimming, um, or if you want to do a triathlon or anything really. It just kind of pushes it to the next level. And then if you're someone who's just doing it for fun, you just get a ton of fun new workouts to do every week.
Yeah. And I think that's
Lots of support.
I think that's it too. Is like since so many of these are validated or consistently released, and we do have support for them.
Yeah.
We'll be able to talk about, hey, because sometimes you get some of these workouts and you go, well, what's kind of the point here? What do I do if this one feels too tough? How do I manage the rest periods? What if I can't hit the thresholds? Like all of that feedback and like even telling people, hey, how do I know if I need to adjust the paces on this? Like that's all part of this program. So the whole idea is, yeah, you're going to get these pretty high level workouts, but you'll also get all the guidance you need on how to make them work for you. And I think with this kind of steady release and with, again, these pretty well validated workouts, we're going to spend a lot of time in very clear explanations on how to do assessments, how to figure out what your threshold is and everything else. By having all of that part of it, that's going to answer a lot of questions. And from most people, what's going to be nice about it is just going to be plug and play, because every week
Mhm.
you're going to get your new workouts, you put them on the day you want and boom, you run it and you go.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm probably just gonna do it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
What from the kind of where this originated, this the Space Marine side, what kind of stuff would you love to see talked about, like in the forums, or talked about, or done? I know that we wrote those the rites of passage sort of tribe workouts that are all based around different chapters. Um, I would love to see more people doing those metcons and comparing scores and stuff like that. Like, I think that would be
Yeah.
super fun. Do you want to see more of that, like contests and stuff?
I want
Or
to see a lot more of that. I want to actually run a couple contests. And I think the other thing is with a lot of these contests too, it's not going to just be like who does it the fastest. There's going to be contests on consistency, contests on adherence, themed contests. I mean, hell, if you want to video yourself doing something in a costume, all of that might be part of it. But I think what I really want to see with all of this is the whole idea of especially making this a group program, is to have sort of, I don't want to say it's a shared suffering because there's no suffering, but it's a shared experience. And because I think there are a lot of like minded people out there, and there's nothing that is more fun. And I think people who've done like, more group focused training programs in the past, there's nothing quite like seeing a new workout for the week and having a whole bunch of other people trying it at the same time and talking about what their experiences are like on it, whether they liked it, whether they didn't, hearing what, kind of seeing what other people are doing with them, and being able to sort of, not even just compare yourself to other people, but being able to do something alongside them.
yeah,
And, again, having some of these challenges, and even, if we decide that people really do want to make their own tribes or chapters or whatever else, having them have some way to compete against each other there, I think is going to be a lot of fun.
yeah, I agree. I think really diving in there is the part I'm the most excited about for this group training program, because I think it kind of takes the imagination side of it and
Yeah,
kind of makes it a lot more accessible and a lot more fun for people to actually engage in and
yeah.
participate in, not just alone, but now they're actually going to be with a group of people, um, all
And,
kind of doing the same thing. Whether they're fans of Warhammer or not, it's still going to be really fun.
and I think what we really try to do here too is show that like that and really really high quality serious programming don't have to be mutually exclusive.
Right.
Like
Right.
you can absolutely do something that's going to get you the best possible results, and you can still have fun with it, have the community aspect to it, and have a little bit of that kind of gamification. Like let's enjoy this a little bit and have some targets that aren't just like let's get big numbers. Like
Yeah.
let's get some rewards here.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's going to be really fun. I mean, that's stuff I like doing, so I'm sure
Yeah, yeah,
any idea that anyone has, I'll be like, how do I do that? So, looking forward at kind of the creation of adding more workouts and having additional templates and all the support and potentially like Q&As and things like that. Um, what made you choose? I know this is making you kind of repeat yourself, but what made you choose EPP for this? From things that you've heard from people that have done the program, like kind of what's the feedback you've gotten from people that have run EPP that has really made you be like, this is the template that I want to do group training with, besides the fact that you love it?
yeah. I was gonna say the fact that I love it, and honestly, like everyone I've talked to about it has just been blown away by it and how much it has to offer and the depth of it. And I think it's the depth of it. A lot of people are like, yeah, I'm just getting started with this thing. I've already they've been running it already, and they want to try different tracks on it, but they haven't gotten to it yet. It makes me realize like how much opportunity there is within this program to do different things.
Yeah.
And I think I wanted the opportunity to let more people get exposed to it, and then also be able to guide them through it and encourage them to try new things and encourage them to develop new areas and take some risks with different types of training, and also kind of almost help them have a bit more faith in themselves that they can try something new and really be good at it. Because I think one of the things is like people love some of the like carry workouts and different options like that, and they want to get more guidance on how to make it work for them because they're really excited about it. They really love doing it, but they're like, hey, how do I put this carry workout together?
I
And
only
then
have X equipment.
and when I've
Or
been
like,
able to give them feedback on it, it's great because they have all these new ideas and everything else. And I think so. I think it's that depth within this program, the sort of infinite repeatability, depth, and the fact that people adore it and they've only scratched the surface of it. So, okay,
yeah,
let's help people dig into this.
yeah, like being able to immerse yourself in the program with people and actually like make sure they can get the most out of it.
Plus,
It's
look, when I first came up with the idea of hybrid, this is what I wanted to do.
yeah.
I wanted people I wanted people to try new things. I wanted people to say, hey, just because this is my background, or just because this is my body type, or just because this is what I'm used to doing, doesn't mean that all these other things are not for me.
Mhm.
Everything is for me. I can do whatever I want out there. It doesn't matter if I look out of place. It doesn't matter if I feel out of place. It doesn't matter if I've spent all my life training this one way. I want people to be surprised with what I can do. I want to show up to the start line of that race and look like I'm going to eat everyone else there, but still show that I belong because I do.
Yeah.
And I think so much of my initial experiences getting into endurance sports was feeling wildly out of place at the start line
Mhm.
and feeling like this was still discouraged. But now knowing that, hey, look, the world is open. All these other sports have been nothing but welcoming. You just have to throw yourself into it. And this program sort of epitomizes that. It's going, doesn't matter who you are, your body type, your background, your areas of interest. This is going to show you how to do everything and be good at everything. That's hybrid. That's what it's about.
Yes. I don't know what to add to that,
I
but
know.
you do. You need a mic just for that.
I know. Just got one sitting around there. So.
Shit. Uh, oh, I forgot what I was gonna say. Do you have anything you want to add while I think about what I was gonna say and then lost?
Honestly, I'm excited about getting this started just because I want to really make this grow. I want to really. It's going to be our most accessible offering, I think, for this kind of thing, and that's the whole idea. Like we're trying to keep it affordable. We're trying to keep it easy to use. We're trying to show people how to make it, how to do the setup and everything else. The whole idea is, hey, whatever your barrier to entry was for doing a program like this, we want to get rid of it. And I think
That actually,
that's kind
yeah,
of
go
been
ahead.
the objective.
That triggered what I forgot, but now remembered. Was kind of like the same general sentiment. There was just kind of the part that I'm most excited about is having you in there helping people stay consistent with the program, whether it's by adjusting it to suit their schedule, moving the work around so that it's possible,
Yeah.
adjusting the workload so that it's recoverable. I think all of those things become such barriers to people because they feel like if they don't do all of the work, they're not doing any work. And I think nothing could be more untrue. But when you've got a template in front of you and you know that you should be doing all of the work, but you don't know how to accomplish all of it, sometimes that can become such a barrier. So, like having you in there being like, hey, this is how you auto regulate. This is how you move things around based on your schedule. If you have to pick and choose which work to do, this is the work that you should do this week and the week after. And, allowing people to really move things around and learn how to maximize the work that's offered for a long period of time, because I think that's kind of the key, like you said, rewarding consistency,
Yeah.
not just following a template for 4 weeks or 8 weeks or 16 weeks, but what would happen if you followed, this very progressive, very easily adjusted and flexible template for 6 months?
Yeah.
What would happen? But how can we make sure that you can do that at the same time? How do we keep you in it?
I think that's the hardest thing to convey to people. And I always hated that whole like fall off the wagon expression because, look, what is the wagon? A wagon is just something that's taking you down a road. If you fall off the wagon, you're still on the road. It's not like if you fall off the wagon, suddenly like you're off in the middle of nowhere floating endlessly. You're still on the damn road. So just
Get
start
up.
walking. There is no
Yeah.
wagon. There is no wagon. Everyone's just on the same road.
Yeah.
You know, you're taking one step in front of the other. It's not the wagon pulling you along. You are taking one step in front of the other. You stumble, you have to sit down for a second. You're still on the road. So
Yeah.
the whole point of having a program like this and working with it is saying, look, we want to let you know that if you're walking down this road and you have to sit down for a second or you get distracted, we'll show you right where you left off and just keep you going.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the hardest things for people, and I think what stops a lot of people from starting a program is just this feeling like, okay, well, if I can't commit to it, I shouldn't be doing it. And it's going, no, no, no. Like the whole point of a program like this is so you don't have to think about it, so it fits in your life. Because if a program doesn't fit in your life, you're never going to do it.
Yeah.
Our goal is to say, hey, look, here's a program that can help you do anything, can help you be whatever you want. Let's make sure that this is as easy as possible for you to follow. Even if you can only train 2 days a week.
Yeah.
You train 2 days a week, cool, we'll make it work.
Yeah.
So I think that's really important too. And I think just like I said, on a personal note, like accessibility of a lot of this stuff is what's become really big to me. And I know there are a lot of people out there who, like I said, they've got big dreams and feel like, maybe some things just aren't for them anymore. Oh, maybe I don't have enough time to be able to do this. Maybe I can't be as fit as I was and anything else. It's going, look, hey, look, let's help you get as close as possible. This is
Yeah.
still for you. We'll make it work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. One of my favorite things with nutrition coaching for a long time, and that I fell off the wagon, was just telling people, like, the only thing you should be saying to yourself is like, I am the wagon and the wagon is me.
Yeah. Yeah.
To say that there is a wagon is outsourcing responsibility for your own forward movement. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
you're literally going, the thing responsible for me making forward progress is not me.
Right.
No, bro, it's you. Like, you're the
100%.
wagon. You can't fall off
100%.
it.
Yeah.
Like, if you need
Yeah.
to imagine yourself as a centaur, like, do that. I don't care.
Yeah.
But like, you are responsible for any forward movement that you take. And even if it's lateral at first, it's still something. If it's just 2 steps when you feel like you should have done 4, it is better than 0.
Yeah.
Like, so I
Yeah.
think helping people feel a little bit more well equipped and give them both the confidence and the tools to make those decisions, and sort of take that feeling, which is very real. I think when you and I are obsessed with coaching, we're obsessed with fitness, we breathe it. You've lived and breathed it for doubly long as I have, triply long. It's when we look at a workout program, we see it differently than someone who maybe is not as obsessed. And I think it does become very easy to go, well, I'm not the expert. I'm not the person that wrote this, and then outsource that responsibility for being able to follow it, just
Yeah.
kind of gone. And I think being able to bring people in and be like, hey, no, this is what we mean. This is what we're doing. This is what our intentions were. This is the work you can do. This is the work you should prioritize. I mean, I'm seeing insane progress just from lifting 2 to 3 times a week because I'm starting from 0. Like, I used to lift 6 days a week and now I'm lifting 3, and life just, it changes, but you can still make progress no matter where you are.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Um,
once it gets going, it's amazing how far you can get.
yeah,
And
once you get past the initial DOMs.
yeah. Well, and again, I think that's the last thing that's fun about a program like this too, is you can get into it and you can just be starting and do a couple days a week and do really well. Or if you want to go like full bore, it can make you into probably it'll probably get you in the best physical shape I think you could be in. Period.
I mean, yeah, reading. I mean, that's why I'm going to do it, because I think without a doubt, it's probably all the things that I need to work on. I know my strength potential,
Yeah.
but it's my work capacity, it's my durability, it's my agility, it's my power, it's my speed. It's all those things that kind of have super been neglected over the past 2 years for obvious reasons. But,
Yeah.
it's those things that I personally want to develop. And I'm definitely choosing doing this program alongside everyone for that reason.
Yeah.
Um, because I know how to run, and I know I should do more speed work, and I know I should do more volume. So this is just as much for me as it is for y'all. Okay. Um, but yeah, I think it'll be cool to be doing it alongside everyone, and hear their questions, and honestly hear from the amount of people who are probably experiencing all of the same obstacles, all of the same things. It's so easy to, when you're the person sitting alone with a template, being like, I'm the only person who can't follow this.
Yeah.
I'm the
Yep.
only person failing. I'm the only person not doing this. I'm the only person who can't do this agility work. And I'm the only person who feels stupid doing this. Like, and then you get into a group of people and they're all like, oh my God, I felt like such an idiot doing the pogo jumps in my gym today. Here's a video. Like,
And oh my God, the fourth interval on that run absolutely sucked. Yep.
yeah,
Yes, it
I hate you. Like, I think just getting that constant feedback from everyone else and knowing, hey, no, you're not the only person. You're not alone. Like, it's really reassuring, and it helps you show up the following week
yeah,
to kind of give it another shot,
yeah,
do it again,
yeah,
show up again, because suddenly you're not the only person on earth
yeah.
struggling with having a job and a schedule and a life and or children, or whatever it may be. Like, you're not the only person.
And sometimes it's really good to hear that other people who are just as busy and just as restricted in how much they can train, they're progressing as well.
Hmm.
And that's I think a really really good thing to see is like, hey, someone's going, hey, yeah, I'm only training 3 days a week, but I'm making progress. That's great to
Hmm.
hear. That's great to
Yeah,
see.
it helps you bring a little bit more intensity to your 2 to 3 training sessions, rather than phoning them in and being like, "This is useless. I'm not getting anywhere." Like, actually, what if you showed up and gave it 100% every single time because you believed that you would make progress doing that?
Yeah,
You probably would.
yeah,
Amazing.
yeah.
Wow, 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 wow. Well, um, all right, cool. I mean, I'm stoked. I'm not sure there's much else to talk about since we've kind of covered a lot. Do we miss anything about kind of the guts?
I'm gonna. I mean, as far as the guts of it, there is some stuff that I know we're still working out, and that's going to be how the chapters slash tribes are going to be organized. But I have
Hmm.
a feeling we're going to definitely have some thoughts on that. That'll change over time, but I think that's going to be something that's going to be fun to dig into. Possibly some custom apparel and things like that, which I know might. I'm just putting a question mark next to it in the future, but might be fun. But I think, as I say this now, as I say here, the plan is just to have this keep growing as time
Yeah.
goes on. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I think this is probably the most complete, not to make a pun out of our company name, but I think this is the most complete an offering has been
yeah,
um, for a while. Because I mean, we've got so many templates that are like highly specific,
yeah,
but and then obviously the EPP template is its own beast. But I think as far as like the group coaching goes, we haven't done a group coaching project in a while as a company.
no,
So I
a
think it'll just be
long,
really
long, long
cool.
time.
Yeah, really cool to just kind of bring that back and see how that plays out, and kind of just really have fun with it.
Yeah, yep, yep,
Um, yeah.
cool.
Well, cool. I don't know. Any messages for the masses? Anything you want to say?
No, just really excited to start doing this. Um, I don't know. I guess just even having spent time like looking around at what people ask for, looking around at what people get excited about, I think this kind of hits on all points. So I'm going to be excited to finally open this up, let people see what it's about, and I think they're going to be as excited about it as we are, which is saying a lot.
Yeah, we haven't stopped talking about it basically
Yeah,
since you came up with the idea. Okay, awesome. And to those of you who already own the EPP template, don't worry. We have tons of ideas to get you guys into the program. Um, so don't be like, oh my God, but I already own it. Like, we know and we love you.
yeah,
Don't you worry. Um, so yeah, keep your eyes open for those updates. Basically, as we put things together, I'm thinking mid-August, September.
I think mid-August. Yeah.
Yeah, at the latest, really, at this point, considering that our momentum is pretty high right now
Yep.
due to Stoke. Um, and yeah, I think, just as another sort of random plug, like I think this group training program would also be pretty useful if you were training for the Crucible, which will also be happening again this year. So, um, low key,
Sweet.
low key,
Now, a
I
lot of people have been
think.
asking about that, so I think we got to.
Oh yeah, it's already. Don't worry, it's already made. I just have to publish it. Um, but yeah, thank you everyone for listening. Thank you everyone for being here, giving us all this inspiration, and all these ideas. And yeah, just
Yeah.
excited to jump in with you guys and do something cool.
Awesome.
All right, thank you, Alex.
Thank you.